Hello MMA fans and welcome to MMA Crypt's Fighting Talk. For today's show, I'll be going one-on-one with the New York badass, Mr. Phil Baroni. Hello Phil and welcome to the show.
What's up man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Phil. Now Phil, you've been in the media recently as being back to 100% with your leg injury. Now I want to start the show with what is next for you, Phil. Ben Askren seems to be your fighting future. There is nothing set in concrete as of latest. How bad do you want the Ben Askren fight next, Phil?
I'm over it now, dude. I'm over it now. You know, I don't think it's gonna happen next, so I'm just gonna get back in shape, focus on me, and you know, we're both gonna be in ONE FC, and I think our paths will cross. You know, but I don't think it's gonna be next anymore. I just don't think he wants to fight, and they're not looking to make that fight. So, you know, I gotta worry about myself getting shape. I mean, I would take the fight in a second. I love the fight, and you know, I think I could definitely, you know, definitely beat him. I think I got what it takes to beat him, so I like the fight.
Well, that's mainly due to Ben Askren backing out the fight with you now, obviously. Ben Askren is down as cowering away from the World Series of Fighting offer too. Do you think Ben Askren will sort of have no choice in the future but to fight you eventually to save face?
He's got to fight somebody tough, you know. He's got to fight somebody tough. And, you know, there are tough guys who want to see me. People don't know him. The dude at Fort Suzuki's real tough, real fast. You know, his good stand-up. And Ben is slow. His terrible stand-up. He's really slow. I mean, there are guys over there that could definitely, you know, give him some problems. So, I mean, if he thinks he's going to have an easy road over there, he's definitely making a mistake. I mean, you know, I made a couple of jokes, you know, who's he going to fight over there?
Yeah.
You know, Tiger Chung Lee or whatever I was saying, you know. A lot of people in America don't know them guys. There are a lot of tough guys, man, and the sport's growing, and there are good guys in every organization now. So you can't sleep on anybody, man. You know, I made a couple mistakes in the past, taking a guy light, and that's how I ended up getting beat. So if he takes any of those guys light, you know, he might get knocked out quick.
Are you going to be watching Ben Askren's debut in ONE FC? Are you going to be hoping he gets knocked out there, Phil?
I mean, I'll check the internet the next day. I don't think anybody's watching this fight. I mean, anyone that knows who he is, well, why would they watch it? You know what I mean? Unless they're just trying to go to sleep. If it's on real late at night and they're in bed or something, I put it on to get to fall asleep. But other than that, I don't think anybody's going to be watching this fight.
Well, Dana White's down as saying he puts Ben Askren fights on to put his kids to bed. So, you're not the only one, Phil, who's saying such things.
I don't think anybody wants to watch him fight. I'm not sure, you know, what his deal is, but he definitely isn't, you know, an exciting guy that, you know, people are going to stay up late to watch in America.
I noticed on your Twitter, Phil, your fans been mocking Ben Askren. Are you proud of the New York badass fans there, Phil, you know, for giving shit to Ben Askren on Twitter?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's definitely funny. I definitely appreciate it.
Now, I want to move the conversation to your ONE FC deal here. You have been currently fighting with ONE FC for the past 2 years. Could you tell me how many more fights you have left on your contract with ONE FC, please, Phil?
Well, right now I'm a free agent. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to be ended back there, but you know, right now I'm a free agent. I mean, I was just released from the UFC when I ended up there. I was going to be like my comeback fight. I was going to win a couple fights and, you know, look to get back to the UFC. But when I was there, you know, it was such a good promotion, such a good organization. I felt like, you know, let me stay here. Let me help. You know, let me get my career back on track here, you know, and I was a fight away from a title fight. So it was so good, and I was so surprised when I got over there and how big the promotion was. I wasn't looking to leave. You know, I really enjoyed it. So I think, you know, I think Ben Askren, when he gets over there and he sees how big the production is, and he fights at, like, the arenas I fought at, with Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier in the Philippines, and there's, you know, over 20,000 people in there. I think he's going to be, like, pretty shocked, especially coming back from, you know, Bellator where they have small arenas. I think he's going to be shocked. I mean, it's you know, it's a big stage, and there's a lot of press. I mean, they do a good job with it. I think you know, and the fights are exciting. And, you know, I don't know if he's really going to be accustomed to rules. He might be in for a rude awakening. You know, he might be shell shocked or big stands, big you know, big arenas, so many fans. You know, he might not know what he's getting himself into. I was shocked when I got there. It was kind of like a pride.
Is there any promotions you've been in talks with, Phil, since your release with ONE FC?
Yeah, I mean, no, you know, I'm not really. I'm just trying to get healthy.
Is there any promotions that appeal to you, Phil, that you would like to fight for in the future?
I mean, is there anyone? I mean, who wants to pay me the best? You know, I mean, prize fighter.
Yeah.
You know, fight for the biggest prize. I'll fight anyone if they have a big check in front of me.
How have you enjoyed your time with 1FC, Phil? You represented them against Sakurai, obviously, at Dream 18. Have they treated you well?
That was a dream. When I fought Sakurai.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous decision. I mean, I probably shouldn't be. I'm not going to say I carried him, but Sakurai's a friend I know him for a long time, and he obviously wasn't in the best shape. I wasn't in the best shape either. I had to cut a lot of weight. You know, this fight was supposed to be at 75. When I got there, they changed the weight class to 168. So it was, you know, I got off the plane over 90. So it was a super hard cut, and a super hard cut. But regardless, you know, I wasn't feeling my best. He didn't look like he was, you know, the best Sakurai either, and. You know, I was having such an easy fight, taking him down. I mean, I was on top of him for 13, 14 minutes of the fight. I don't know how I lost the decision, but I didn't exactly, you know, look to knock him out and finish him. I'm not going to say I carried him, but I was just going to beat him easy. You know, I was going to beat him the nice way, just you know, grind him out and stay on top. And I was pretty shocked that I lost the decision. I would never count. I'm trying to say that I wouldn't count that fight as a loss. I think if anyone watches that fight, I obviously won the fight.
Are you going to miss the Asian MMA fans now, Phil? No, you're not going to be returning to 1FC?
I mean, I think I'll be back there. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, I miss all the fans right now. I miss any fans. I miss, you know, walking out to the ring right now. Of course, I love the Asian fans. You know, I just feel good and pride in Japan. I heard one of them's going back over there. I also heard one of the World Series is going to Japan, too. I mean, I miss all the fans. You know, they're all the same.
I want to touch upon UFC 168 for a moment with you, Phil. We witnessed Anderson Silva break his leg against Chris Weidman. You've also just recovered from a severe leg break. Does your heart go out to Anderson Silva, having been through such a similar injury and knowing what he has to go through before he actually returns?
Yeah, it's just pretty horrible, you know, being on crutches. You know, I'm not sure how long. I was on crutches for 4 months. It was bad. I mean, your body goes to shit. You know, hopping around on crutches, you can't really train. I mean, you probably could go to the gym and do weights, but you know, obviously I didn't do that. You know, I'm not sure if he will. But you know, I think it's not a career ender. If he wants to come back, he can definitely come back. I mean, it's just a broken bone. His bone's broken. It will heal. I think I'm not a doctor. 6 to 8 weeks, then he can regain, train, and you know, build his body back. I mean, if he wants to come back, he can definitely come back. The worst part of it is going to be the first couple of months being on crutches. I mean, it's pretty depressing, you know, especially being a guy that's athletic, you know, and a world champion. I mean, but without a doubt, if Anderson Silva wants to come back and he decides to compete again, he can easily come back. It's not a career-ending or career-threatening injury. It's a broken leg. I mean, I think he'd be back. I'm back, and my injury was a little worse. I broke my leg and dislocated my ankle, and I was back in 5 months. So when I see Anderson's prognosis, he'll be back in 9 months, whatever. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, he'll be, if he wants to be back in 9 months, he can be in the ring in 9 months, without a doubt. But he can be back training. I think in 2 months. But like I said, I'm the doctor.
Now, I recently spoke to Frank Shamrock about your fight with him. Frank holds his fight with you in very high regard. I know your first fight with Minowa Man is one of your favourites, Phil, but where do you rate your fight with Frank Shamrock in terms of performance and fans' interest?
It was a great fight. It was probably like the biggest promoted fight, you know, that wasn't UFC. I mean, maybe ever. I think we both did a good job promoting the fight. It was a great fight. You know, he talks about his knee and stuff. I mean, I heard your interview with him. I was pretty hurt. I was pretty hurt too going in. I mean, we were both pretty busted up. You know, I had to go somewhere else to pay. You know, I failed my first medical in California, in San Jose. I had to go to Vegas. And let's just say I healed somehow on the trip, and I got cleared to fight. So I was pretty hurt too. You know, I had some injuries too. I'm gonna make excuses, but you know, even the announcer said, you know, in the first round, I'm not fighting my normal way. I couldn't really move. I was kind of a sitting duck. It was such a big opportunity. I think we both sucked it up. It was such a, a big fight that we both had a lot at stake. I don't think either of us were 100%. and it was a great fight for me. You know, the victor goes to spoils. He obviously, you know, was commentating for Showtime, and he's got his deal in Bellator. You know, I was the first broadcaster for Strikeforce, so I lost my job, and you know, the victor goes to spoils. So if there's any fight, you know, that was a turning point in my career, that could have been the one.
Frank mentioned to me he hasn't been hit as hard as you hit him. He also mentioned he hasn't hit anyone as hard as he hit you. So basically, Phil, you can take a punch and certainly give one out. How do you feel hearing those comments from Frank? Obviously, it's probably nothing new to you.
No, I mean, I was happy. I listened to the interview and I was like, man, when's this guy going to say something good about me? You know, because he's talking about his injury and this and that. But you know, I was happy when he said, you know, I mean, I guess it's, you know, I don't know if it's going to be private, but I can take a shot. You know, I can take a shot. I mean, that was the first time my whole career I've been knocked down. You know, I do a 3-punch combination on the button. You know, right hand, left hook, right hand, right on the chin, and I went down for a second, but you know, I was right out. So I think I showed my chin in that fight. I took a ton of hard shots, and you know, you know, I'm glad he gives me credit for that. You know. It's not the credit I wanted to take. I ran out of the credit I hit him. I was the hardest puncher ever, and I slept him. But you know, I'll take the credit for being able to take a punch.
Well, we are fresh into 2014, Phil. Any New Year's resolutions you have set for 2014 in your fighting career?
Oh, man. I don't like to make New Year's resolutions. I usually make them the day before New Year's, so then, you know, I don't have to keep them for a day. I'm not going to keep a resolution. I don't have any. I just want to get back in shape, to get back in the ring. And, you know, I don't want to go out the way I did in one to see on the stretch. I want to get a couple wins before I'm done. I want a couple fights.
Random question next, Phil. There's an old story of you punching Ricco Rodriguez. Is there a particular reason you attacked Ricco Rodriguez there, Phil, for all our listeners who haven't heard the story already?
He brought someone over one kick to spar me, and we were sparring. He was coaching a little too close to the ring. I punched him in the face over the ropes, and I kind of rocked him. You know what I mean? As I was in the middle of sparring, I punched him in the face, and you know, he ended up trying to get a lawsuit, trying to get me kicked out of the UFC, and made a big complaint. But you know, it didn't happen. But it's a little story. I can't remember who I was sparring, but he brought him over there. The guy was definitely really tough, Vegas guy.
So it was actually an accident. It was actually an accident.
It was Marvin Eastman. It was Marvin Eastman.
Marvin Eastman.
Yeah, you know, he was in his prime then. And he came out kicking. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. When Ricco was coaching, I'm hoping he would knock me out when I had my chance. You know, Ricco was in the corner. I reached over and I punched him in the face and I knocked him on his ass in the middle of a sparring session. That's as far as that's that story.
Okay, that's a wrap for today's show. To all our listeners, thank you for watching, and be sure to check out MMAcrypt.com. Phil, thank you for joining me today, and all the best to you in 2014.
Thanks, man. Thanks.